Hey YouTube, what's going on? It's Keys, and today we're going to look at the Grass with Malok, which is a legendary pulse rifle that you can acquire through defeating Omnigul in the Omnigul Strike. Now the drop rate is a little low, but there are some ways to farm it, and I'll talk about that. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Malok, he is a Taken Knight who rises to power in the aftermath of the defeat of Oryx in the Taken King. So he is the main antagonist in the April update, so anyone who's played through the story mission in the April update is familiar with Malok. This weapon does kinetic damage. Let's take a look at my perks. I have Red Dot OAS, which is a snapshot sight, enhanced target acquisition, ranged lens, which is a precision scope, superb effective range, heavy with poor recoil control, and I have True Sight IS, which is a flexible sight, light with good recoil. I'm going to go with Red Dot OAS. I've been using it, I really like it. On the first tree I have Counterbalance. In the middle tree I have Lightweight. When held, this weapon grants +2 character agility. I also have Hand Laid Stock, which increases the weapon's stability, faster handling, and reduced range. I have Hannibal. This weapon deals bonus damage against Cabal Centurions. And in the last tree, I have Grenadier. The key perks that you're looking for in your weapons here are going to be anything that increases the stability of the weapon. This is a very high rate of fire, so you're going to want to be able to make sure that you land as many bursts as possible, and this weapon really shines when you have very high stability. Let's review the stats of the weapon, and then we'll talk a little bit about what sort of perks you are going to want to look for in your weapon. So the rate of fire on this is 77, which puts it in line with Praetor's Timepiece from year 1, so it is the fastest firing pulse rifle in the game. The range is 22 with a max of 66. Personally, I would look for stability. The base stability on this weapon is 39, but can be increased up to 92. So I think anything over 75, you're pretty well set, so you're going to want to look at that. The aim assist on this weapon out of the gate is pretty high. It's 82. It can max it to 87 though if you have hidden hand or a scope that increases. And the equip speed is 45 with a max of 105, so there are some equip mods that you can do. For those of you who haven't watched any of my other videos, equip speed is the speed in which you can take a weapon from a holster to your hand and start firing the weapon. So the higher that number is, the quicker you can start firing. Now let's look at some of the perks that you're going to want for this weapon. My preference personally is Red Dot OAS. It's a snapshot sight, so you can equip the weapon faster, and it also increases target acquisition. Some people do prefer Red Dot OES as well as True Sight IS, so it really depends on your preference. Personally, I like Red Dot OAS. It's my favorite scope for this type of weapon. In column 3, you're going to want to look for something that's going to increase your stability, as I mentioned. So Counterbalance is really the only perk here that I can really say that you should go for. Some people do go for Headseeker. Body shots with this weapon increase precision damage for a short time. Personally, I'm going to try to go for headshots every single time. I don't find that Headseeker is as great a perk as people lead it to believe. I think it's fairly hyped up. You'll see a lot of people on both sides of the fence, so it really depends. So if you do get Headseeker and you like it, stick with it, but Counterbalance is my recommendation. In column 4, you're going to go for stability as well. So here we have Perfect Balance, extremely low recoil. There's also Fitted Stock, increased weapon stability. We have Braced Frame, which increases stability but reduces the magazine size. Hand Laid Stock increases stability and reduces range. Or Small Bore, increases range and stability but reduces your reload and your magazine size. My recommendations here would be either Perfect Balance, Braced Frame, or Hand Laid Stock. I think with Small Bore you're losing a little bit too much with the slower reload as well as the reduced magazine size, but Small Bore is still a great perk if you get it. Fitted Stock's also a notable mention here, increases weapon stability. But Perfect Balance, in my opinion, is probably the best. It will actually control the recoil a little bit more than the others. In column 5, there's a couple notable ones. None of them are going to increase your stability, but you're going to see some benefits from those. Glass Half Full is a great perk to have here. The bottom half of the magazine causes additional damage. Third Eye is also a notable mention too. Radar stays active while aiming down sight. Spray and Pray is another one I like too. Increase the reload speed of this weapon when the mag is empty. I have Grenadier on mine, and I do like that because I do like to get my grenades recharged quickly. I do like to use those to either kill enemies or to hold them back. So that's, I wasn't too upset when I saw that drop with Grenadier. I've been farming this for about 6 or 7 hours. I have about 10 drops. This is personally my best so far. For those of you wondering how the drop happens or how you can farm it, when you're in the Omnigul Strike and you get to the hallway where you can see her at the end, one of your fellow fire team members who's a hunter has to tether her, and then the three of you run up with your exotic swords and just smash her. I found that we get 3 to 4 drops per hour, so it didn't really take very long, and the drops are pretty even as well. From this point, just rinse and repeat, and do bring some heavy ammo synths with you. You're going to be using those frequently. The one thing I can't stress enough is the requirement for you to have stability perks all across this weapon. Otherwise, it's not going to be as effective as you see in the gameplay. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you got all the information out of it that you were hoping for. Thanks again for watching. Click like, hit subscribe. Thanks again, and see you in the Crucible.